It was the 80s. We all had long hair and mullets. We wore tracksuits, crazy neon clothing and ankle boots, and jazzercise was starting to be the big rage. You know, women wore these ridiculous leg warmers. And BMW came along with the K100. And so BMW did what they always do. They did something totally different. They took a 4-cylinder engine and turned it on its side. So it created a bike with very, very low centre of gravity. And the second radical thing they did was they fuel injected this bike. And up until then, bikes had not been fuel injected. Not only did they fuel inject it wasn't mechanical fuel injection, it was electronic fuel injection. So just like your modern car, this bike is run by a computer. And this was unheard of in the time. I just still enjoy riding motorbikes. I don't ride them every day, and I don't ride in the rain, but I really enjoy getting on a motorbike and going for a ride. I think the K100 is one of those bikes that is just made for touring, but it's a bike that loves the curves, you know, it carves up the curves, not the tight. It's not a sports bike, it's not into the tight twisty bits, just loves those curves, and it's just such a glorious bike to ride. I just love the fact that it's not a particularly sporty bike, but what it does have is a heck of a good fairing. So you can be riding well over the speed limit and you do not get buffeted, you do not get wet in the rain, and you're kept really, really warm. So, I mean, that's the things I like about it, I guess. I'd like to keep this bike for quite a long time. I'd like it to be maybe a start of a collection. I'm not an impatient person when it comes to owning vehicles, and I kind of feel like this bike is something that I can easily own and store and have pleasure from without it taking up too much time or money. This was a bike of the 80s, but unlike many of the bikes of the 80s, the Japanese bikes were quite gearish, and you know, I think this one has really held on to its sense of time. It's stretched from the 80s to 2020, and it still has a place. And it was, you know, a child of the 80s, but I think it's something that has lasted the distance.